I've received a lot of requests for demonstrating how to create the perfect crochet edging at the bind off edge. So here it is. And it is not only perfect, it is identical. You will have a hard time telling them apart. Plus, I added a bonus section at the end that shows an alternative bind off that is not technically a perfect match, but very, very close. And it's slightly easier.
Now I've done this beautiful latch tool cast on edging. At the beginning I did 5 rows of it, and then I transitioned into stockinette stitch. Now on the bind off I want to do the exact same edging.
Watch my video how to machine knit the perfect crochet cast on and edging for more information on the cast on.
First off, I'm going to end with my knitting. I'm going to end with my carriage on the left. And I'm going to put a little bit of weight on this so it doesn't roll off, because it's a pretty big swatch. I'm going to take the needle stopper device from my garter bar set, and I'm going to pull the working needles out to the hold position and drop the garter bar stopper over the needles. This stabilizes the needles so they do not move. And that is the secret to having really perfect latch tool work. I'm going to bring my tension down 1 full number. It was on 9.1, it's now on 8.1. Unthread my carriage, and I'm going to put my carriage in hold. Then I'm going to take my yarn and pull down a little of the tension from it. So I'm bringing my latch tool up between the first and the second needle, and I'm bringing my feeder yarn under the edge stitch or edge needle and bringing it to the top. And I'm going to pull a loop through. Then I'm going to bring my latch tool up between the second and third and latch. This is exactly like you did the crochet cast on. And as you work across, you're going to advance 1 needle to the right each time. And can you hear how that just goes so smoothly? I'm latching all the way to the second from the end. I latched the last one. I'm bringing the loop under and forward and then onto the final needle. Push this back, bring the yarn between the first and the second needle, and then over and out of the way. Now, just like when we did the crochet cast on, we remove our stopper and we push our knitting back. Our carriage is in hold already, so I didn't forget this. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a free pass over to the right. This is when I would thread my carriage. We're going to knit back. Oops, one other thing. Take it out of hold. And it went right back pretty easily. Then I'm going to take my needle stopper, bring out my working needles one more time, drop the plate into place, and you'll see the rhythm that you build as you do this. I'm going to push this back slightly, and because I want the latch tool edging to be on the knit side, and that's important to note, I'm going to bring my latch tool up behind the knitting, and I'm latching that row behind the knitting. And you can see how quickly it goes. I bring down a little slack because that helps keep it nice and loose, but very even. When I get to the end, I'm coming around the second needle from the end. I'm going to bring that loop and bring it up onto that last final needle. Bring the yarn forward between the 2 end needles and off to the right. I've just repositioned my yarn again. I can push my knitting back and put my carriage into hold one more time and bring this across. Nothing knits, just it's a free pass. Now I thread back up with my yarn, and I'm going to knit back. Take my carriage out of hold, and I'm going to knit back. right back. On this particular edge, I did 5 crochet cast on rows. On this one, I've done 2 already. Now, I want them to match. And in order to make them match perfectly, I need to do 2 more. 1 less than what you would think you would need, because the last one is the bind off. This is my last row before I finish, okay? So I'm going to knit back. This completes the process. There I go. So now I have 4 rows. That's 1 less than what I have at my beginning, because here's the secret to this whole thing. Okay? Okay. We're going to put our stopper back on. We're going to drop it into place. I'm unthreading my yarn. I'm pulling down a little bit of slack. I am taking my garter bar. Now, if you do not have a garter bar, what you can do is you can take this off on waste yarn. And now I'm going to push the knitting back behind the latches up against the needle bed. That opens all the latches, so all I have to do is take my garter bar, put it into place, and I have a whole video on this, so you can watch that if you want to learn more about your garter bar. You can take it off on waste yarn, but I am taking it off on my garter bar because I find that it's faster. Now I'm going to pull my knitting forward, but I'm not pulling it off yet. And that's because this is a pretty good number of stitches. This is 40 stitches. But all I did was bring it forward, which then reclose the latches, and that will make it simpler to pull it off. Now, if you have to reposition your hands, you can tip it down and it won't slide back on. Then you tip it back up and pull it off. Okay. Now, before I take this knitting off, I'm going to push my latches open again with my garter bar. Now my knitting is on the garter bar. Do you see it? Okay. I'm going to turn the work and make sure the yarn is to the front. You don't want it to get hung up behind anything. And I'm going to rehang these stitches. Now, if you're doing a full bed of stitches, just pushing it on. Whoops. I'm sensing a problem. What that means, I need more weight on my garter bar, on the knitting, because garter bars love weight. Okay. So I'm going to put my garter bar in position, line up the stitches with the needles, push it forward, and turn it. Now, these didn't go on yet, so let me see if I caught them all. Nope, I did not. Those seem to be caught now. I'm looking down my whole garter bar to make sure that all the loops of the stitches are caught properly and not split. If they're split, then you would want to remove the garter bar and try again. So, but mine look pretty good, so I'm just going to slip it out. The test is, if the garter bar doesn't slip out, then they were split. Okay, so I've just turned my work. That's the most important thing. If you're rehanging waste yarn, you just want to go stitch to needle and just do them. And if you only have to do this once, it doesn't take that long. The next step in the process is to push the knitting back. And now I don't need all this weight. In fact, it will probably be detrimental. I'm going to remove my stopper because now I have to do a bind off. My yarn is on the right. And what I'm going to do, this particular machine has gate pegs. And what that means is that I have something I can bind off against. I'm going to bring my yarn around the gate peg to the right of the last needle on this edge. Okay? I'm going to put my hook, my latch tool hook, right into that hook of this stitch here. And I'm going to transfer the stitch that's on that last needle onto my latch tool. Now notice how the yarn is still around the gate peg. And then I'm going to pull through that loop. Then I'm going to go to the next stitch. Now I have two loops. They're both behind the latch on the latch tool. Pull through that. And I'm leaving the yarn hanging up right there on the gate peg. What that does is it helps keep the edge nice and even, but it also keeps it from getting too tight. This is one of the problems that people have. They get their knitting edge too tight. And by doing this, I can bind off. And it goes relatively quickly because if you put your hooks together, there's no way you can't transfer that stitch. You won't lose a stitch. And when we get to the last stitch, we're going to pull it through and cut our yarn. It's hanging on the gate pegs right now. Now, all you have to do is pop it off the gate pegs, give it a little stretch, and we're ready to go. It's the exact complement of this edge. The exact. They're identical.
This second variation is close, but it is not a perfect match to the crochet cast-on edging. But if you are in a rush to complete a project or plan to put fringe on the edge, then this variation may be a good solution. In this sample, you can see the telltale difference. See the little bump in the middle of the edge stitch on the knit side? And more obvious, the chain edge of the bind off appears on the purl side. But it's easy to do and does not require you to turn the knitting. Here's how. After you've completed the desired number of crochet rows at the end of the piece, don't turn the work. Just bind off around the gate pegs and you will have a close but not perfect match to the crochet cast-on edging. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of upcoming videos and events. Happy machine knitting!